Hi, my name is Blake Peterson. I am 24 years old, and 10 years ago I was diagnosed with Mixed Connective Tissue Disease with underlying polymyositis, cerebral vasculitis, and Raynaud's phenomenon. This is an extremely rare autoimmune disease. I am essentially a living version of the show House. Thankfully, my disease is in remission now and has been for a couple years, but it unfortunately could come back at any minute. But that's just the life. Thankfully, I don't have any horror stories to speak of in terms of botched care or anything like that, as I was treated at Seattle Children's Hospital, which is definitely one of the most premier children's hospitals in the entire world. But on the subject of healthcare in general, which I do know a thing or two about, the biggest problem with healthcare in America doesn't come from the insurance companies or the HMOs or the pharmaceutical companies or the doctors or the Congress or the president. The biggest problem with healthcare in America comes from right here. Because people don't want to talk about being sick. When people are sick, they're grieving, and they just want to get the care. They don't want to have to think about how or how much it's going to cost. They just want to get better. When people around them are sick, they don't want to think about how or how much. They just want them to get better. And when people are well, they don't want to have to think about getting sick and having to deal with it then. And the fact that we don't have an open dialogue about what healthcare is really about in health. It's about being sick. And that's scary. It is scary. I know how scary it is. It's difficult to have an open conversation about healthcare when people don't understand how it works, because they don't want to think about when it's going to work for them. And it's not something to be thought about when it comes up, because like in my instance, it came out of nowhere. There was no warning. There was no 40 years of smoking cigarettes, so chances are you're going to get heart disease or lung cancer. It was out of the blue, and the same thing could happen to anyone out there. It's hard because people have to face their own mortality. They have to face their own health. They have to face the decisions that they make that affect their health. And a lot of people just want to go about their daily lives. So I appreciate you opening up this dialogue, and hopefully we can start talking more about what this issue is really all about, which it's not about the money. It is, but more than anything, it's about the mind. And once we can get past that, we can solve anything. So, thank you, Michael Moore, and great work.